Good afternoon and a very warm welcome to you. My name is Keith Atito and we're here in other news. Today is the 17th of April and we're on our 21st day of the COVID-19 curfew here in Kenya. We're here to bring you the news that may have not made it to your headlines or to your screens. And joining me in studio today is Linda Alela. Hi Linda.
Keith, how are you?
We are also with Liz Mutuku.
Hi.
And Joash Ansari.
Hello.
We welcome you to join the conversation. Tweet us on at TV47KE on Twitter, at TV47KE on Instagram, TV47 Kenya on Facebook and YouTube. You can also tweet me directly on at Keith Atito. And starting us off today, guys, how are you doing?
We go.
Fine.
Well, the president had an interesting speech yesterday, and he says we're not yet out of the woods. Do you guys think we're getting anywhere with COVID-19? Linda?
Well. It has, at some point, we all thought that we're doing well, looking at the trajectory, or not the trajectory, but actually the numbers and the graph. There was a point whereby it felt like, that time, that should have been some times last week, we were at 5 new cases, then boom, all of a sudden we shoot at 9 new cases. And I'm surprised that, for a moment we've been having 999, that gets you asking yourself, what's with this number 9? Or what is with this constant numbers where when we're talking about 12, then it's 12 new cases for like 3 days. Then the next day you're getting to 9 new cases, like 3 days, 5 new cases. I don't know. But reality is that at least we've done what is, we've really tried to do what is required of us. And in as much as maybe the president says that, yes, we're not yet there, it's the reality of the matter based on the numbers that are there. And I think it's just right that we do the things, we continue, or we keep doing what is expected of us, because that's the only way we'll be out of it 101%. But, generally, or by and large, looking at the measures that are being put on board, we can say that, yes, we are trying our level best.
All right. Ansari, I'm being told we have a video, but I would like our directors kindly play it for us.
Today, my administration has also released 8.5 billion shillings to the elderly and vulnerable individuals under the cash transfer program run by the Ministry of Labour for the months ahead. In addition, 500 million shillings, which were in arrears, have also been released to persons with severe disabilities. We will continue to provide all necessary assistance to groups, communities, social economic sectors that have been hardest hit by the pandemic.
All right. The president says that they will be distributing funds to the needy in society. Ansari, yes. There's an opinion that in the year 2021 we'll be talking of new millionaires coming from the president's kitty.
Yes. So, Keith, thank you for the opportunity. One, you realize that the country we are in sometimes people get rich in different ways. We've seen them. People are in history who've become millionaires. And for this particular fund, what we can say is that we are hoping for the best so that the targeted groups are going to get something. So that is the hope that we can be able to keep as per now. Keep.
Well, Liz, you interact a lot with our politicians. Do you foresee them being honest with us this time around?
Thank you for having me here, Keith. But my greatest question on this fund is all about the criteria. How are we going to identify these people who are vulnerable according to President Uhuru Kenyatta? And apart from just identifying, I've never seen our politicians, sorry to say, they're listening to me today and they're watching me. But we know very well some of them can never be honest. So unless there is a good strategy on how the vulnerable and the elderly are going to get these monies, as for now, I am not satisfied with the money is being distributed in the channel. They are saying the chiefs and the Huduma number for now is the source of the data, but I'm not so comfortable with it. That's my opinion, though.
Keith, allow me to say this briefly.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
have at one point seen, the procedure of the old is actually getting ile pesa inaitwa pesa ya wazee. And I'm telling you, Keith, it is frustrating for the oldies. Some of them even opt not to go for the money, and they are going for as little as 2,000, 3,000 and everything. Sometimes you're told this money cannot be given to you on a monthly basis. It is led to accumulate. So then you go for like 8K after a while. It is terrible. It is draining. They're supposed to go through procedures that, are for the learned. And sometimes you look at them and you literally want to cry.
If Linda, I may say this, the president might be having a good intention over the fund, but then how are we going to get it to the right people? Because some few people outside there are going to pocket these monies.
Right.
And as just you've said, we're going to have billionaires by 2021.
That's for sure.
Out of this fund.
Yes,
Well,
Keith.
Liz, guys, I'm interested in this argument because you've brought up the concept of Huduma numbers. It's being considered a white elephant because over and over guys say that we picked the Huduma number receipts and to this day no one has gotten an actual
But
card.
Keith, why are you
number.
saying it's being considered? Do you have your Huduma number?
Do you have it?
Did I
Do you
need
have
to
it?
for one?
Yeah, that's
Is it not a white elephant as at now?
It is.
If you have it, okay.
So, Keith, on the side of Huduma number, you realize that we were just given the receipts. And
Do you have it still? Oh, sorry.
I have it.
I
I'm
don't
just
know where
waiting
mine
for
is.
that day whereby they will be telling us that now it's time, come collect your card, because that is what they said. And you realize that since the censors were out, you realize that they said we are almost 47 million Kenyans. So in that particular case, you realize that in that case, you'll get that we as Kenyans, we don't know exactly how many we are because those are just figures. Okay? Yes, Keith.
Well, that's a very interesting twist to it. We are looking forward to seeing what the government will do with this. We are hopeful that all Kenyans will be able to get a chance to get some service out of the president's kitty. Now, moving on, yesterday we were discussing Deputy Governor of Kilifi being released on a bail of 200,000, and today the Siaya priest has been freed on a bond of 500,000. Linda.
There you go. And well, there's a bit of controversy in regards to this. Of course, it all started from the point of, because then it was a heightened note where we were talking about COVID-19 and these people getting a little bit, of what the directives of the president or what the directives of health require us to do as of now. Well, that release, first of all, remember they're being released to self-isolation. I hope they'll be able to do that and, quarantine themselves proper. But like you say, it's bail and bond. I mean, this would be one and the same thing, but equally different a bit, because then this is 200,000 bail. Of course, this is a case that is continuous on bond. Then directs this person to a point whereby it's probably once and for all, this case is out. I think what's key right here is not the justice aspect. Because then remember, they've been taken to court, breaching what was expected as, of course, the directives of the president. So I think what's important is the health aspect, and I think we should focus much on that. Well, let the law take its course, or justice take its course in regards to what was enshrined for people who are going to go against or breach the directives that have been given. But most importantly, I hope they are in good shape. So, and they do not proceed to sort of, get other people having coronavirus. And it should serve as a lesson anyway to the rest of us as Kenyans.
Linda, you said that. But I remember reading from one of our dailies that Saburi said he was not he was not infected with the COVID-19. This makes you to have a lot of questions on the issue of COVID-19 in the nation. Is it real? According to some people, yes, it is real from the directives and from the communication from health sector. But then when he says this, what do you expect the person who is reading this and the Kenyans in our country, what do you expect them to understand?
Liz, I'm curious. Ansari, I want to hear a voice on this. Yesterday I was under fire for saying that 200K was a just bail to Kilifi Deputy Governor.
So,
haki imefanyika hapa kweli?
Keith, hakuna haki. Kwanza kabisa, we look at it from the seriousness part of it, because this is a serious issue that we are talking about. Because going against the directives which have been given out by the ministry or the government at large, you realize that we are putting people's lives in danger. And when you find that one of these people who came from the outside country to the country, they were also put down directives on what is supposed to be done. So if you know that you've come from outside country, you need to isolate yourself for 14 days, not going around meeting people. Then at the end of the day, you just say that you just say you are not guilty of those particular going against those particular directives. It's very wrong.
Well, we're hoping that the Luo community will have learned. Sema Jaluo itamaliza watu. This is the first time we're seeing that Jaluo imefika kikomo chake. And it's on a very interesting twist. The government has said it doesn't have a budget to pay the pensions of high and mighty of the society. From former Prime Minister Raila Odinga through to former VPs and other VIPs. They will no longer be receiving their pension in the light of COVID-19. Onsari?
Yes.
Kwanza kwako.
Keith?
Yes.
I think now it's evident that the country is grinding to a halt, especially as far as the economy is concerned. People are not going to work, the businesses are not being opened, and you realize that there is no money. So on that aspect, it's a tick for the government. And let's hope the money is going to be channeled for the right use.
But guys, it brings an interesting question. Do they really need these monies? The former VIPs, former political leaders, do they need these very hefty allowances and pension?
Yes, they do.
Why?
They do, because it's their right as per the constitution. But now, since we have the crisis, it can be withdrawn, giving reasons. And the reason has been given. We are on a crisis. And since we are on a crisis, then the money can be channeled to the right route so that they can be able to assist in one way or the other.
All right, Onsari, let's open it up to everyone else, because we are aware that this figure comes to 1.5 billion per month. That's how much the Kenyan government releases per month to the who's who, to those who we chose to serve us. We who have never seen a quarter, a tenth, and a hundredth of that figure. They get 1.5 billion per month. Please, you sit with these waheshimiwas.
Have you ever met an MP who has retired, who is no longer serving as MP? Have you ever seen their state? If yes, you have, then you will understand why they need these monies. However much we are in crisis, I don't think whether fully withdrawal of those monies is the right direction we could have taken. They could have taken a pay cut just like everyone else. That's my thought on this.
But none of them have come forward to take a pay cut. I remember when I was on that side of this discussion, I asked Honorable Duale to step up, and he categorically has said that he will not be volunteering his funds. Do you expect them to ever consider volunteering their funds after they are retired? Linda?
But
Liz, you can go first. You can go first.
No, I was answering this from this point of information. These people, however much we want them to take the pay cut, when they go back to Mwananchi, he doesn't understand whether they've taken any pay cut. They are required to give to the society, just as we've made it a norm. Mheshimiwa akifika ananipea. Mheshimiwa has much. So when they take this pay cut, for example, the 30% or whatever it is, and they go back to Mwananchi, will Mwananchi understand this? If not, I don't think whether it's necessary. I support them on this. And remember, it's voluntarily. It's not being forced.
All right, Keith, this is my take on this. One, the whole thing, the pension and whether they're going to take a pay cut. I think sometimes I look at this thing and I blame it on the society, because this is how the society has crafted it. Once you're a member of parliament, once you're in the media industry, once you're in this top position, I mean, they will always judge you right after. And they will ask you, they will laugh at you. Why is it that you're poor, yet you are a member of parliament at some point in time? Why is it that you're poor, yet you were a president at some point in time? So the society has pushed these people to that point whereby they understand that, it can be terrible if you're out and you're poor. And then it gets to that point where you realize that the very same politicians are the ones that are making these decisions. Like, Onsari says it's a constitutional requirement. Of course, all this is written and crafted by the politicians themselves. So the last thing you can ever expect today is for them to decide that, yes, they're going to scrap this in totality. No, because they know very well when they scrap it in totality, it is going to affect them. They do not want to be affected in future. So they will craft laws that are not going to be poisonous to them. And that's exactly what they're going to do. As of now, if the pensions are going to be cut, well and good, the likes of Right Honorable Raila Odinga, well, getting pensions for the prime ministerial post, that one can be halted as of now, because then, of course, he's in a way inside government, and he's also getting something out of this. He's an envoy of the African Union, so if we can go to that level whereby we say it's a desperate moment, calls for desperate measures, let's at least tighten the noose towards ensuring that at least we are able to stay afloat as a country. Then when the economy goes back to equilibrium, then at that particular time, again, we can have these negotiations of whether this is going to be scrapped in totality or not, which I can bet will not,
Linda,
it won't be.
Linda,
Yeah.
in addition to Keith, in addition to what she has just said, this is a sitting legislature, or that person who is an MP, that person will be willing to have a pay cut, because at the end of the day, the people, that is the resi, wala watu ambao ni wake kule nyumbani, they will be able to know that mheshimiwa is contributing to this particular pandemic.
Right.
But somebody who has retired and doesn't know that tomorrow is going to vie, he will not be willingly to give out what he has kept aside for himself. Yes.
Well,
Former
so-
President Kibaki, of course, you do not
All
expect
right.
him to say.
All right, Linda, I'd like us to take a short break, because clearly it's getting heated in here when we start discussing matters politics. We'll be taking a commercial break and coming back with In Other News. Stay tuned.
Since late last year, the coronavirus COVID-19 has emerged as a serious healthcare threat. This is an infection that has gone global and no one has been spared. The government, through the Ministry of Health, has put in measures to keep Kenyans safe against COVID-19, which is currently rampant around the world, with new confirmed infections and death cases daily. Such sanitization and screening of visitors at this border post and across every entry point in the country is very vital in preventing the spread of the disease in the country.
I'm very happy about the screenings that are going on in Tanzania and Kenya. I think it's very proactive that you're thinking about stopping it at the border so that it does not spread.
It is scary that a single cough here can lead to an outbreak of epic proportions. In order to prevent that, the government has instituted measures to keep Kenyans safe.
The facility has all the equipments you need, from handling a basic patient up to ICU setting.
However, you also have a role to play in preventing spread of infections.
Citizen responsibility is the key to the success of this initiative and these measures. Let's all do what we have to do individually. And this is how we are going to defeat this disease.
It's just our general hygiene, okay? And that now means at workplaces, we should ensure that our work surfaces are clean.
Always ensure that nimefanya proper sanitation ya mikono. Every time na board matatu, lazima ni sanitize mikono.
We have faced many severe challenges as a nation, and we have always found a way to rise above them. COVID-19 is no different, and we will overcome the pandemic. Stop coronavirus. Follow all directives from the Ministry of Health. Wash your hands properly.
And welcome back to In Other News. The discussion has continued being very heated over here, but we'd like to move on, and we are inviting you to join our conversation on at TV47KE on Twitter, TV47 Kenya on Facebook, at TV47KE Instagram, and TV47 Kenya on YouTube. I have a feedback from you, Carl Johnson Spellman, saying, why is the government giving out money when it is not reaching the common mwananchi? I also, Ankit saying she's watching. Thank you for watching, Ankit. Makame Mahemedi. Kuna wagonjwa wangapi Kenya mpaka sasa? Mahemedi, we are currently at 286, if I'm not wrong. 246. Yes, thank you. In my ear today is Tracy Mukami. She is piloting from the background. Thank you very much, Tracy. And guys, we're moving on to other stories making headlines around the world. We're moving on to stories, and starting off, is this the new normal? Ansari?
Yes.
We are getting home before 7 p.m. We are not going out. It's Friday and there's no one drinking. Is this the new normal?
Okay, people are now fitting into new cultures. For example, people are washing their hands. People are going home early, and you'll be able to find that a lot of things are changing, which are affecting the society in one way or the other. Yes.
Liz, I know you are very keen on the Sunday practices, the Sunday cultures. It has been 3 weeks now and no going to church. Is this the new normal? Is bedside Baptist the new way of life in Kenya?
I'm really hoping it won't last forever. However much we are adjusting and we're coming into terms with whatever is going on, it's my prayer each and every morning, each and every day, that this will change, because however much it's affecting the churches, apart from the churches, our economy is dwindling each and every day, which is all right.
And what about you, Linda? What is it that is completely changed, completely different for you?
I hate to say that this is the new normal, because it's not comfortable at all. And it's not just the aspect of comfort. Like Liz says, we are crossing fingers that things are able to go back to equilibrium. Well, I know sometimes change is as good as rest, but this is not the kind of change that you would consider as rest, Keith. So, true to it, we've seen so much changing in the country. Some of us, are considered to be, yes, people who are offering essential services. So sometimes we get the privilege of being outside at that hour of the night, at the wee hour of the night. And true to it, it's actually yesterday that I was asking you, na waizi sasa wanafanya nini? Because kumekauka ndugu yangu is not that easy. But then, again, Keith, interestingly, you also see, I don't know whether you've noticed, unaona watu wawili watatu nje. So my question is now, watu wawili watatu nje wenye wanatembea. Yani unakuanga umekunywa nini mpaka unasahau kabisa ati hapa kuna directive na unaweza kutana na magava wa kunyeshe mbaya sana.
Labda ni undercover, Linda.
People get, ni undercover kweli hao. Yeah, okay, well, maybe that could be true. That could be true. I cannot dispute it.
But guys, we're seeing people adapting. Guys are working out. Entertainers are taking to digital media. We're having the now famous/infamous quarantine radio. Why are we looking at this as a bad thing? Someone once told me that in the next 10 years, shaking hands will have been as old as butter trade.
Not in Africa.
Not in Africa. Our cultures are very strong.
But Liz, when was the last time you shook someone's hand?
I feel so bad, but I shook my little girl's hand this morning because we are in the same house and I can't avoid, especially when it comes to kids. It's so hard. Linda will tell you that it's too hard for you to avoid your kid and to avoid any other person. Mm-hmm. I avoided being in Ushago, especially before curfew and before the partial lockdown. Right. But then, out of it, just as you've said, there are good things. Washing hands, keeping ourselves, the distance also, it's good. The masks also, they are for health purposes. Right. It's something which we are adapting. But then, economically and other things, no.
And also we have, Keith, those people who are not following this normal, because you find that people are going to clubbing in secret. But because wananchi nowadays, they want to protect themselves, they will just hint the police.
But do you know how hard it is for you to stay at home?
It's very hard.
It's really hard. My friend,
what is hard about staying at home, people?
It's something that you are not used to.
Keith, what is easy about it?
What is easy about it? Where we are running to at 5 p.m.? to get home? Every weekend, where you cancel out our plans to get home. Hold up, sorry. I'd like to remind our viewers that we would like to hear your opinion on this. Call us. Our number is 0768095491. That's 0768095491. We'd like to hear your feedback. Also, tweet us on @TV47KE, @TV47KE on Instagram as well, @TV47 Kenya on Facebook, and TV47 Kenya on YouTube. So yes, guys.
Yes.
Why are you afraid of your homes? What have you done to your homes?
Keith, you'll find that we are not used to working from home. And
I'm not talking about working.
It's fine because you staying at home, let's say for example you're working from home, you are still staying at home and you realize that is something you are not used to and you get bored easily. So it's not, it's something that is going to make sure that we combat this COVID-19, but people are not used to it, so it's boring.
And just to pick it from Onsare, I don't see how you celebrating us staying at home, especially for those people who want something out of going out.
Okay, now.
Yeah, and there are people who want past the curfew times. So it's not something to celebrate, but then we are here.
Liz, I feel for those whose livelihoods are affected greatly by the curfew hours. But for those who have been enjoying working from home, we are informed that Zoom, the teleconferencing platform, was hacked yesterday. And if any of you are aware, Zoom is where everyone is conducting everything nowadays.
Everyone
That's
runs
a
with,
meeting.
yeah.
Linda, is this a concern to you?
Well, the society is crafty. This was bound to happen. And that's why sometimes when you're told, well, that's a reality of it all. That's actually the reason why we're saying that this is not something that you just take easy. While, we could be looking at Zoom as the best thing that has ever happened to us at this time, and, we needed it the most, there's equally somebody else who's trying to prove a point that, there are people who are able to do their meetings from there, but not everyone. We're not going to fish from Zoom, We're not going to do what from Zoom. And hackers are always there. Probably they know what they are gaining out of this. So I think it's just bound to happen. And that's why you always told, much as maybe we're going to that direction of technology, that direction whereby, everyone will be having their systems all kept and well set to do whatever it is that they would want to do from there. There is a high risk of data damage. There's a high risk of hacking. So this is technology. Keith, you are a tech-savvy guy. I don't know why you are surprised that this is happening. Even the Huduma number that we talk about, weren't you complaining that, well, if I give you all my data, somebody is bound to mess with it?
Well, Liz, do you feel your data is secure online?
Has never been secure online.
That's
it's
the
only
point.
that I'm being forced to be there. And if I were an IT guru, believe me, I would flex my muscles also on the Zoom thing. Nione kama I can hack kidogo. It's my mind
society.
I know someone outside there is feeling the same.
Sio babaya, sasa ni ukweli wa mambo.
Imagine uko na knowledge and you are able to advance it towards something which is being used by millions and millions of people.
Let's discover.
And putting in mind that you'll be recognized for that particular activity or exercise, you'll definitely do it and you'll be recognized.
I'm sorry, have you come across this message on WhatsApp saying that Safaricom is giving out some stipend, something? Has that come across your path?
Severally, whereby somebody texts you and tells you, just click here. And when you try clicking, it's another business. So in that particular case, you just call it a scam. You move on.
Well, but why did you click it in the first place? If Safaricom was giving something, would it talk to you first?
Okay, one, you realize that my colleague Liz has said that you'll be curious to do something. So somebody has sent you this. You as a Kenyan or you as a human being, you'll want to know what does it entail, considering that things are not working as expected. So you try it and maybe it can be your luck, of course.
Well, so far we have seen that it is not panning out like that, and that is why we are urging you, our viewers, to please maintain your cyber security. Your password is your secret. You do not need to share your information with anyone. It's yours to maintain. Be safe. Now, moving on. So China is on the hotspot. It has come to the open light that they are practicing a new level of racism, and it's not just the African countries that are coming out to condemn this. All other countries are stepping up and saying, no, what China is doing is wrong. Liz, from your end from what you have seen in the newsroom as you're going about, what's your opinion on how China is handling Africans in China right now?
Each and every day I've been wondering, Keith, whether we are friends to China, Africans, not only Kenya. Each and every day I'm watching those videos of Africans being attacked in their country, the racism they are facing each and every time. I'm wondering, are we on the same page? Are we friends as they say? Are we in any relationships, ties as they claim? And today I've seen our CS receiving some goodies from them. We are receiving the goodies, but instead of us evacuating our people from China, which is raising a lot of questions to me.
All right, Liz. Yesterday we had Musalia Mudavadi on our new talk show, Africa 411. We got his soundbite on the China-Kenya relations. Our directors are ready to play that for us, kindly.
Appropriately. So that we invest, and when I talk of investment, I mean we allocate proper resources in terms of developing capacity, human capacity, technical capacity, and even the financial capacity in those sectors that would really matter for the welfare of our countries. So on this score, I say that we have made mistakes, but we cannot live permanently by saying that because we have made mistakes, we go into a permanent blame game. I think it's also time for us to move forward. Right. And for purposes of what I've said in terms of the treatment of Africans in China, I think it's very clear, and even the panelists that we are sharing this discussion have made it very clear that two wrongs do not make a right. If it is racism that is being practiced by an African, a black African against somebody from China or from Europe and whatever, it's wrong. And equally, if they are going to participate in racist actions against the black people, it's also wrong. Two wrongs do not make a right. So we are supposed to be a civilized society. That is why we're human beings and we're not animals. So this message is important for all of us now and going forward. So we need to come to terms with this and resolve the challenges that we have in a concerted effort.
That was Mheshimiwa Musalia Mudavadi, former Vice President of Kenya, yesterday on Africa 411. You can catch the repeat on YouTube on TV47 Kenya. Guys, we are seeing Kenyans and other Africans now taking racial prejudice against Chinese, what is being termed as counter-racism. Is this the right way to go? Is it an eye for an eye affair?
Let it be known to you, Keith, that whatever it is that the Chinese are doing is also a counter-attack strategy. Because MACU, remember, we've had reports across the world on the level of racism, discrimination that was meted on them across the world after it was reported that COVID-19 started from there, right? Right here in the country, you've seen it. So let's not be hypocritical even as we point a finger at China. True to it is that whatever it is that they're doing is not right, number one, because then that is not how best you deal with such an occurrence. If racism was meted upon you, across the world, there are ways of addressing this. That's why we have the United Nations. That's why we have councils, the Security Councils, and all that. I mean, there are amicable ways of dealing with this. And I think you saw the world condemning, most of these notable countries that were considered to be discriminating against the Chinese. So one, for them to have taken that direction, and they have actually escalated it to a higher level, I think it's pretty much unfortunate. It's uncalled for, but it also brings out the reality of humanity and who exactly these people are and what they think of us. And I think I kept on, I mean, a couple of times we've been talking about the social contracts. I mean, even as we do business with the Chinese, you realize that then they come with their social contracts well crafted, that this is us, this is our culture and everything, and they come and are allowed to practice their cultures in Africa and across the world. I mean, but you go to China, the script is totally different. You will play or you will dance to their tune. That clearly tells you that we have hypocritical leaders or hypocrites in the leadership that we have in Africa, because many a times when they discuss the issues, instead of going on the table to discuss them on a 50-50 basis where Africa is going to benefit or your country is going to benefit, you know, they go there and they subscribe to the ideologies of these people, and that's the reason why we are where we are today. I mean, it's almost 2 weeks discussing the same thing. What is happening? Why is it that the ambassadors that are there, why is it that they're not having this thing tamed?
Ansari,
yes,
I'd like to hear from you. Do you agree with Honorable Mudavadi, or is it status quo?
Okay, one, I will concur with Linda, because you realize that we have different interests, and you'll find that African countries, I don't know if we are trying to stoop very low, at least we can be able to get these fundings, or we are just trying to manipulate ourselves so that we can be able to benefit, because that is what I'm foreseeing, especially in this particular case. Remember, when this crisis started, you realize that we were still having flights from China to Kenya or China to other countries without even looking at how dangerous is that particular actions are going to take.
But Ansari, we say we still had flights. Tukona deni yao. Tunawadai. As high up as the African Union, tulikatwa kwa miguu. So is it that we have no say, we have no feet to stand on?
That's why I said we blame it on the leadership. I mean, clearly, when they are going there to negotiate, they look at their own interests. Those are the African leaders.
My opinion is also, ni kama sisi, our African leaders wanacheza, in Swahili ni in Sheng, wanasema kucheza safe. We are trying to do things in a way that which is going to favor our side when we are doing all this, so that we are not even going to be hit hard by these particular people.
Liz, now Onaje?
As far as I'm concerned, our leadership has just failed.
So we're all leaving it on the leaders.
Where does it start?
It starts there, Kim.
All right. So if we're leaving it on the leaders, now global economies are taking a hit. Wakenya melia, tuna pesa, tuna namna. Meanwhile, the same is being had across the world, as far out as the United States, China, UK. How are we coming back from this? Tunaponea wapi? Liz?
Kuhusiana na mambo ya pesa.
Yes.
Wewe kwanza unazo?
Na anasema Wakenya wanalia. Karibu nishinde yeye na yeye ni
mbona tukapona yangu?
No, tunaanza na wewe unalia. So that means everyone analia. This will just end the time utasikia the pandemic has ended. That is the only way for us to go back economically. As far as it is for now, there is no way out. But however,
Linda, do we need to reopen our borders, reopen Nairobi, end the curfew? Are we at that point already?
Then do what? Then do what?
Make money.
Well, I mean, make money while people are dying.
Make money.
Make money and get to that level of Ecuador. Make money and take that direction. No. You've seen China trying to open up the cities, but still, again today, I think we're reading this with you. Again, the rate has gone even higher from what has been projected before, or what has been told to us. And we saw also the United States trying, Trump saying that some states are going to open up and everything. But you see, the biggest fear now is that the very same thing that got us into closing down is still here lingering with us. So would it be a polite way of saying that we are stupid to have gone to this level before? Then again, get ourselves back. I mean, I think the bottom line here is this: let's save lives. Let's ensure that we are done with this pandemic, and then at this particular time we are able to do. Remember, they say health is the greatest wealth. So in as much as you'd say that you want to do business, if you're not having a healthy nation, technically you will have lost it all.
We're talking save lives, save money, save health. Forgo money for now.
Not forgo money. Ni vile tu sasa hatuna ujanja. Hapana kusema tu.
Pesa inaja kwako sahi.
What do you mean, Keith?
Okay, hold up. I'm sorry.
Keith.
Yes.
Okay, I get you from your argument. You realize that life is just lost once. An economy can be revived by those people who will be there. So if you want to say that we reopen the boundaries, in fact, yes, they can be reopened. But what is the damage? Even our neighboring countries where we border, they won't allow that. Take an example of Uganda. Museveni won't allow such thing. Itabidi kwa sababu there is no need. Tutapambana mahali the way the situation is, because if you allow that, then we will die like insects.
So we're choosing death by corona as opposed to death by hunger. Liz.
After mass testing, now we can re-strategize how to go about this. But for now, let's die of hunger. Let's spend what we have. Let the government feed us. And then from there, we can strategize whether we open our borders or not, knowing the numbers, the exact numbers we have in the country.
I'm at a loss. Earlier today, I was talking to my landlord, Nikumulza Kata nisamehe rent this coming month.
Hata wewe umejaribu sana.
Lazima mwanaume jitetee kivyako.
But the rent issue,
it's a serious one. It's a big deal. It's extremely sensitive.
3 times now it has been brought up, and so far we're not hearing any answers from anyone. From yesterday, with the government measures of loans being suspended until further notice, still yet to take effect, is there any hope for tenants out here?
Yes, there is hope.
Liz, ulishasema ulikataa kulipa rent.
Nilikataa, then nikakakaa, nikarudi, nikalipa. But then there is hope because the Senate had a committee. They had made a proposal of such pertaining rent issues, tenants to be compensated by the government, and not tenants but landlords.
Yes.
Then for us as tenants, we'll be able to survive. That is what is being crafted for now. We are hoping for the best.
All right, we keep hope alive. You all know I'm not a very hopeful person. I always pay my rent in advance so that I don't have to deal with the embarrassment of being kicked out. But it's Friday. People, I'm in my Friday best. I was hoping to have some fun today.
It's Members' Day.
Members' Day where? Everyone is closed by 7.
Indoors, stay home.
I'm only a member of my house.
Yes, you were celebrating staying at home. Please go home, have fun.
Trust me, I do not complain about going at home. The sweet, the warmth of the fireplace, my little drink there, Netflix. The chill part is missing, but Netflix works. Linda.
Yes.
What are you doing for your Friday? What are you missing from Friday so far?
Honestly speaking, I'd be lying. I'd be lying to say that there's anything that I'm missing, honestly, because, well, I think now Kidogo, it reaches that point whereby, you all keep it calm. You always at home. Most of the Fridays, it's a family affair. But reality is that, again, being amongst the few who are offering essential services, I'll just be in the office. So you can imagine, maybe on normal days or on a normal Friday, I would have been having that moment at home. So really, I don't think I miss so much. Sometimes it's also good to have that calm in the room because the noise is too much.
Hold up, Linda. On Sari.
Yes.
I'm hoping you're not as... Linda, sorry for putting it this way. Boring as Linda. All right, guys, okay. Hold on a moment. I'm being informed we have a caller. Yes?
Hello?
247, hello? Hello, Samuel.
Yes.
Yes.
Samuel.
Yes, Samuel.
Calling from Kericho.
Yes.
Hello.
Hello, I can hear you.
Yes, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you, Samuel. Thank you for calling in.
We lost
the call. That's unfortunate. But thank you for calling in, Samuel from Kericho. You are invited to call in. Our numbers are open. We would like to hear what it is you're missing about Friday. It used to be a fun time. I remember back in my heyday when Friday was that event. comrades. We remember our spot up on KBC. Good times. And also at Central Police. But we will not go into the details of what happened there. Liz, what was Friday for you?
Friday for me was a movie day.
Mm-hmm.
I catch up a movie. I go to church for Kesha. And then my family comes afterwards. But then this won't happen anymore tonight. It's all about essential services. Then after that, I go to my family. And I'll be okay for now. Yeah, that is the life for now. But then I'm missing a lot.
Well, not everyone is missing out on these Fridays. We invite you to send in your Friday fun bits. We would love to see what you're doing. Our Instagram and Twitter is at TV47KE, YouTube TV47 Kenya, and Facebook TV47 Kenya. Now we move on to what I consider my favorite part of
Keith, you've spared me out on this Friday.
Well, I asked you and you said your Fridays are as boring. I'm sorry.
Yeah, of course it is. And you realize that when it is Friday, I usually call it it's Members Day. Burdan is Burdan.
Yeah.
That is what I do. So in that particular case, you'll find that it is not the same. Because I used to go with Mama out, dinner.
It doesn't look like that, man.
I'm learning a lot of new things about you on the show.
We are sorry.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, I'm learning a lot of new things about you here.
I know, right?
I've invited you earlier.
Oh.
So, which was your music? We might have our directors play you a jam. You better
have that.
Okay, one, we have what we call rumba. Rumba.
Kid, I hope you are.
Then from there,
going to play
bongo things.
Kijana
You
mzee,
get Burudani, Mtoto Hodari from Boso.
Well, the missus is surely missing.
Is this him,
But
really?
do you dance in the house, or do you have to leave for you to go and have a dance?
I do it.
You're going to dance for us today, I hope so. Let me call the shots.
All right, guys, hold on a moment. We have a caller coming in from Kisumu. TV47, hello.
Hello?
Hello, yes.
I'm fine.
What's your name, good sir?
I'm Dennis.
Pardon?
Dennis.
Yes, Dennis, from Kisumu. How are you doing this afternoon?
I'm fine.
What's your Friday like now with the COVID curfew?
Hey, bye, Anna.
Ni kubaya?
Yeah, I'm miss you.
Una miss?
Drink na mabash.
Drinks na mabash?
Yeah.
But as soon as burudika na drink yako kwa nyumba peke yako, kuna quarantine radio siku hizi.
Hiyo company ya mimi sasa.
Company pigiana simu ndugu, burudike kwa simu mpigiane kelele hapo.
Zoom.
But jioni ya leo tutakuwa na Club 47. Unaweza tune in uburudike na sisi.
Okay.
Yes, it's always live Friday nights on Twitter and as well as on our TV channel.
Okay, I'll get that.
All right, we look forward to having you there.
Okay, thanks.
Asante sana Dennis from Kisumu. So guys, we still have fun that we can have. We shouldn't be an all sad affair. What do you guys think? Linda,
have you prepared anything or something for us? First of all, kumbuka wamesema inafika mahali drinks zitakaziwa kuuzwa. So sijui watu wata drink nini huko at home, but anyway, some of us know how to brew our busa proper. So yeah.
Linda, what skills are these? Are these skills on your CV? Should we inform each other of this?
Naenda kutafuta kazi place kama ABL nitazisukuma hapo ndani, but hapa it's a whole different affair, yeah.
Essential service provider.
Essential services, but yeah, you can always have fun. You can always have fun. I mean, there are a lot of things that you can actually do. But then again, also this time we get to acknowledge and appreciate some of these things that we took for granted, yeah. Kama hiyo time ya kusema unaenda out once in a while with family, usikue mgamo sana, umefinya pesa alafu unaenda unalipa double price kwa matatu. So once in a while, I mean, after all this, and I think you've seen most of the people saying that, like, after COVID-19.
After COVID-19.
Ikiitiwa whatever.
Itakuwa
show up like no one.
Linda, hold on a moment. I'm getting another call. Wow, you guys are on fire today. Yes.
Yes.
TV47, hello. Yes, what's your name, good sir? Yes, Louis from Thika. How's your afternoon going? Well, it's Friday. It's Friday, and I'm curious, what are you going to do with your Friday today? Yeah?
to find one. I think that's both the next. When you no longer have freedom, when you no longer have the economic freedom, that when you no longer have the overall decision about what you can do, when you can do it, how you can do it. That's fine.
All right. But I'm hoping you're keeping safe and keeping indoors. Umepatikana nje time ya curfew? We've lost Louis from Thika, but thank you for calling in, Louis. Guys, we are essential services. We usually survive moving around during curfew hours. Have you heard of any incidents around where you are with the police?
Yeah, when we were going home, just the other day, around Umoja, we found someone who was naked after being beaten.
That's unfortunate.
And it was a boring thing to see and a very sad moment. We couldn't help them, but then we had to proceed. Then the other day at Thika Road, we found another girl, very young, around 16, 17, very drunk. We couldn't help. We only
a 16, 17-year-old drunk after curfew hours?
She was actually crying. But after asking her some questions, she couldn't even figure out what was happening with her. We had to leave. And that is what's happening around the curfew time.
I think, Keith, we need to be a little bit careful. You know, in as much as you're so human, sometimes you look at these people, and I think that's what I started by asking. I mean, you know very well that there's a curfew. It's in the public domain. It's all in black and white. Why do you stay out up until that hour of the night waiting to see whether someone is going to come and bail you out? I know there are extremes, but do not allow yourself to get to that point. I mean, just abide by the rules as at now. If we, the essential givers, you know, essential service givers, are questioned by police, how many times have we been stopped? We've been stopped in as much as maybe it is, our vehicle is branded TV47. You have to sort of talk to them, tell them, explain what it is that you've been doing in the office and everything so that they can let you through. So I think it's important that we are just keen and careful at this particular time.
Well, guys, it's Corona time. We're in a new normal. The new normal is we'll be home, we'll stay home, we'll wash our hands, we'll stay safe, we'll keep our social distances. And I think that's all the time we've had for today. We thank you all for tuning in. I generally appreciate Josh Onsare Wakwenu, Liz Mutuku and Linda Alela for joining me on the panel today.
What happened to ladies first?
As we sign out, we have a meme for you. And we wish you the best of the afternoon. Stay safe, stay home, enjoy your Friday. Send us your videos. Our channels are always open. And wish you all the best. Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you.
From spreading is by washing your hands. But did you know by using any soap, you could get rid of all disease-causing germs? The fartlets that attach the virus to the hands get pulled out, and the soap demolishes these viruses. It takes at least 20 seconds for this effect to take place. You do not have to go for soap marketed as antibacterial. In fact,